boys.
It's the BOYSCAST.
The lads.
It's the BOYSCAST.
The dudes.
Prepare yourself for BOYSCAST.
The bros.
It's the BOYSCAST.
The homies.
It's the BOYSCAST.
The dudes.
Experience the BOYSCAST.
The BOYSCAST.
Welcome to an episode of the BOYSCAST, the Smooth Tuesday interview
Smooth
style.
days.
Smooth
Everybody,
days.
it's smooth days.
Friday is Guys' Day, and Tuesdays is Smooth days.
I like that.
When we do them.
I like
It's a
that.
smooth interview with one of the fellas.
One of the boys.
And one of the funniest guys in the world. I'm sure all of you guys know his sketches. Kyle Dunnigan. We have him in the studio. He's in New York for a bit, and we went to lunch, and then he came through the studio for some smooth talking.
day.
Light a cigar,
Smooth
perhaps.
Day Tuesday.
You know, just sit down.
A smooth cigar.
Just light a
Not one of those
smooth-
bumpy cigars.
Not a bumpy cigar. Light a smooth cigar. Sit down. You maybe get into your canoe. It's canoeing episode.
What?
If you want to be in a canoe, and then you
Don't
just
let
do-
that cigar
you hit the
canoe.
paddle, and then you take the I don't say let the cigar canoe, and you're in a canoe and you're chilling because it's a smooth thing to do. I'm not sure why this canoe analogy is really.
Who knows where the canoe?
The canoe is a really
came
relaxing
from,
thing.
but-
Danny
but-
is having
but
trouble
you're-
struggling with the idea that I was coming up with relaxing
But your
items.
canoe idea needs to hop in its own canoe and scram.
Well, when I was, let's see if Danny can, off the top of his head, come up with something more relaxing than a canoe ride. I will wait. And
Just hanging out with Ryan's mother.
much
It's
less
so
smooth.
relaxed.
That is a bumping ride.
disagree.
That would be relaxing when you're sitting outside on the couch
The
and my mother and my
HPV is a little
stepdad are having a
bumpy.
good time just in the couch hanging, wondering why Ryan's buddy is hanging outside.
Who brought him here?
Just having a smooth.
Why are you here? We only know of you tangentially.
Just
Why are
having, why is he here? And he's just having a smooth sit outside. Not quite as smooth as a canoe, but he tried.
But he keeps asking about the canoe situation. It's more of a paddleboard.
Another smooth thing would just be sitting on a pool lawn chair, perhaps. It's a sunny day. You got the SPF out. That sun rays are coming down. You got the BOYSCAST Smooth Day on. You took the Tuesday off work and you were just chilling.
Don't get burnt.
Don't get burnt. Kyle Dunnigan, ladies and gentlemen. We are here with the man, the legend, Kyle Dunnigan. And we are unfortunately finding out that our plant was gone because people were saying if we got rid of the plant, and I thought Danny got rid of the plant. and we don't know what
I would
happened
never
with
get rid
it.
of them. Have been watering the plant because we have a bunch of people who are always like, yo, like, as a regular thing, people are like in the comments of our YouTube is like, please, someone check on that plant. So I've been putting it in the window and watering it, and then I guess
What kind of plant was it?
it was one of those like banana something.
Oh, you had a banana tree?
No, not a tree. It was like I think it was something like it. But it was everybody was joking because it's one of those plants that can't die, and we somehow were killing
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Well, I feel like Kyle Dunnigan's you're the one.
The dead plant of comedy?
No,
Oh.
I was gonna say I feel like you're probably one of the most people that like. I feel like even I stress out a lot about all this stuff, and I feel like you stress out more than me.
We just had lunch. You tell people, like, we probably have run out of things to talk about. 'cause
No,
just
we
had
have a whole bunch. I got all the stuff.
I saved some stuff because we had a power lunch and we talked about the business, where it's going, YouTube, all this sort of stuff.
Editing. Come on, us
Editing.
editors. He doesn't get us, guys.
He doesn't
editors.
get it. You can tell.
I'm a
You can tell
novice.
he doesn't get us.
I use
You do
QuickTime
cut and paste.
Yeah.
Do you
get it.
do a lot of like when you're going to sleep, like you can't sleep because you're just thinking of like.
I don't even. Yeah, no. My brain loops to the point of also like a piece of music will get stuck in my head. I just go and like over and over. Do you guys? I feel like everyone has trouble sleeping.
I have no
don't
trouble.
know. You don't have any
I have
trouble?
no trouble sleeping. It's like one of the one things.
I
that-
can't sleep.
I feel
Yeah,
like that's
I know he
weird,
can't.
weird
It is weird,
to
I
hear
know.
someone actually sleeps.
It's nuts.
You know what we used to do? You used to like farm all day, and you're exhausted, and you had no phone, and then you'd collapse.
You're talking about like some sort of agrarian society.
I guess I'm not saying that that's not known, but we're just the way we
We have
are.
lots to worry about, man.
Yeah, I mean, if you worked like a 12-hour a day manual labor job, you would,
I would sleep
like
great.
a baby.
But you also didn't have to probably go to after working all day at your farm, then like go on your phone and look at like every other farmer and be like, "Yo, murdered it today!
Yeah,
like
yeah,
so
yeah,
much
a lot of
plowing."
corn.
And then all these regular just people who eat corn who are like, "Yo, your corn fucking sucks. It's the worst corn I've ever eaten in my goddamn life."
Yeah, your corn sucks.
But that's a funny sketch idea. Or like cavemen getting stressed out because they see the other.
And then people coming on being like, "Yo, corn's done."
Yeah.
Like you know,
Yeah.
Corn,
Corn's
still doing
corn
corn.
is corn is over party.
Oh, corn's wrong.
Well, no, what I was thinking would be funny is because me and you have talked a bunch about doing something or whatever, but like I thought I should like pitch you some sketch ideas.
Yes.
And see what you think of them.
Do you want me to rate them or do you want me to? Okay.
No, let's try to like write one.
Well, riff. Okay, this is exciting. Okay, go ahead.
Because I know you guys, him and Kurt actually do like writers' rooms, and I've done one with
Yeah,
you.
no, yeah, you got to come back because you were
They're
good.
super fun.
You were smart and good.
To me,
yeah.
the funniest, like, to me, I'll always seem to go back to, like, because if I think of what Kyle's style is with me, like, what about, like, you know how you do, like, the Fresh Prince? Like, do a sort of a sitcom, like, corny, about two guys dating the same girl that they all live in the house, like my girlfriend's boyfriend.
Yeah, I feel like I could write a sitcom in a half hour and you wouldn't know the difference.
You could crank them out.
Well, I mean, don't you watch it and go, that'd be the first. Don't you
I'm not
watch
sure
a
I could
sitcom?
name a sitcom right now.
Yeah,
Well,
what's
like a Big
sitcom?
Bang. Like, don't you think you could write that in an hour and you wouldn't know the difference?
Yeah.
You would just put it
You
up.
would write it in an hour, and then you could go back and punch up put the 8 jokes in, like later.
Have you seen like the Dolly, the AI image generator?
Yes.
They'll have like an AI sitcom generator in 5 years.
I feel like you do it right
You
now.
go like, this is the premise, like here's your log line, synopsis, and they go,
Yeah.
here you go. You list all the characters, and they go, here you go.
Do you ever try to laugh along with a sitcom? After 5 minutes, you feel like a lunatic. You're, ha 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 ha.
That's great. Like, yeah, if that would be insane. Like, you're dating a girl that actually laughs when the laugh track laughs. You're sitting in bed.
It would be
Very
a
suspicious.
lunatic. Yeah.
Sitting in bed laughing is rare. Like, even watching a comedy special, I probably 3 times, 4 times tops.
Yeah.
I have the worst laugh. And that's a big thing for people liking you. If you have a good laugh, like more people like you.
What's the
that's
laugh?
a fact. Mine's, it sounds so sarcastic and people are always like.
Condescending?
Yeah, like, is that fake? I'll go, that's generally me, like, think it's something really funny. I go, usually I make no sound. And I go, oh, that's funny. Or if it's really funny, I'll go, I'll make that face. I've actually tried to work on it because I noticed people because people were insulted and I'd be like, no, I really thought that was funny. But
Like you're just in front of your mirror, just.
yeah, just like, this is what I came up with, but it's still not good. It's better though. That, and it's like, I'll do this is fake, but seems better.
You ever considered hiring an actor coach? Like an acting
I
coach?
Well, no,
did.
that's
For
the
laughter?
torment
That's what I
of
did.
Kyle Dunnigan, that you can play every character except for Kyle
Oh,
Dunnigan.
I know. No, I sometimes go, I don't know. I don't think I know who I am. I'll also, when you go into stores or whatever and someone has an accent, I'll just start doing it without even consciously. And then if I'm doing an impression I'm like working on, I'll go out into the world and I'll feel like I'll start doing them and then just be like, who am I? I think I'm like this, like I am now, but I might have gotten this from something. Do you know what I mean?
Bit of a
Like this
chameleon.
seems like not me either. This drab guy. Is this me?
Is this me?
Boring guy. I might be. There's no telling.
Definitely. Okay, so I feel like the original one is the girlfriend's boyfriend. So then you kind of have 2 guys and they have to hang out and be like,
Wait, what is this?
So if we had the sitcom and it's like
Wait, is this the pitch from earlier?
for a sketch, yeah.
Okay, this I was confused. Go ahead.
I went back to that.
I went
back
off
to our
track.
sketches.
No, yeah. So the sketches.
That's my girlfriend's boyfriend, something like that. Maybe it's got like a sister sort of vibe.
Yeah. So
The cucks?
That's funny to
The
do like a
Cucks,
super
pretty good.
That's super funny to do like a super white sitcom, but have all of the black like style, like the Martin style.
so this guy, his girlfriend is dating.
So no, she has like so the girl has 2 boyfriends,
Okay.
and they all live in a house together. The 3 of them.
They're a throuple.
They're a throuple.
Are they like Mormons or backstories, or just like
No, this
just
isn't
deal with it,
Brooklyn.
This
This
is
isn't
just what it
Brooklyn.
is.
Yeah, like she's polyamorous,
Okay.
and then she has a new boyfriend.
yeah, she loves us both.
Yeah, the first guy's not super stoked about it.
Okay,
This is
one of them's
essentially
not
2 guys, a
stoked.
girl, and a pizza place, just without the pizza place.
Okay, I thought it was the cup.
It's like
No, remember
Oh,
with Ryan
2 girls
Reynolds?
and 1 cup.
or like
Yeah.
Will,
There's that too, though.
Will and
Yes,
Grace
yes.
if Will was straight.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Didn't the other guy need to be straight too, though?
The guys are straight and dating her.
I feel like the problems, would be like, whose jizz is this? The problems would be sort of.
yeah, like it's on the jizz is on the sheets or whatever, and you're
It's
like
like-
you have to clean it off, and you go, that wasn't me because I was playing video games
Yeah,
at that time.
we got to set up like these are my condoms. The gold ones
Yeah.
are my condoms.
Yeah.
Don't wear these because then
Right.
you won't know whose jizz it is. Whatever. And then one day he can't find his condoms. Like, oh, Pete'll never know. And it's like, and then the audience laughs.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
ha ha. Oh, he's gonna put that on his dick.
Yeah.
And then you hear him roll it down. Everyone's like laughing. He starts the roll sound. He's looking for Pete. Like, it's a long.
Comes out of the bathroom.
shot.
Who
Yeah.
touched my
Yeah.
cock rings?
Yeah, and then he goes like, "Oh, I'm out." Pete comes back. This is like a week later, and he goes, "Oh, I'm out of condoms. I'll just use this used one on the ground." I mean, that's gotta be my jizz because it's my condoms. Michael would never put my condom on, and then the audience is like, "What?" And then he puts that used condom on his dick. He's like, and the audience is just like, "Oh my." All right, next guy.
Yeah, okay, next guy. That one's
Can I do the
pretty good.
Foley on that?
Absolutely.
I'd like to do the Foley. I'd like to volunteer to be the
Foley.
the Foley artist.
Yeah, that's my boyfriend's boyfriend. That's definitely the sitcom style works for that. I feel like.
Yeah.
Okay. How about like a sketch where you go to heaven and it turns out that like God is like the biggest like bro misogynist. So he you know what I mean? Like
right,
he's
yeah.
for example like, yo, dude, like heaven's fucking sick, bro.
Yeah.
And he was like, so basically every guy, like there's a passcode on your phone that you can only open with your mind, and girls' phones are always unlocked. Like shit like that.
All girls get in. All hot girls.
And the hot girls, like, no, or maybe it's the opposite, where like all the guys get in for free and the girls have to pay for the guys, unless they want to go to hell, of course, with their heaven bucks.
Wait, so the girls have to pay for the guys?
I love
to
how
get in?
Ryan's version of heaven has a Federal Reserve because they have to print
Yeah, yeah.
money.
Heaven bucks.
You got to think about it. You got to think about where the
It's all crypto. It'd be crypto in heaven.
Heaven's like super for the boys.
Yeah.
Like God's just like super bro.
But don't they want girls in heaven? Isn't like Sky Bar where you want the hot girls get in free? Or I'm thinking of something like wouldn't the
Well,
bro
this is
heaven?
payback for that.
It's payback.
But
for
then you
that.
got a whole place of just bros in it.
Okay,
Maybe
you
that's
have no
the joke.
you have no
Maybe it's
sexual
like,
desire.
no,
That is heaven.
Just bros here.
Yeah,
and
you
they just
didn't
start fucking.
Yeah, heaven. You didn't realize that heaven all along. Yeah, maybe you didn't
It
realize
was just a
that
sausage fest.
Heaven
and,
all-
You can't, but there's no reproduce. You're not reproducing because you're dead and in heaven, so like you don't care about sex.
Right, right.
Or maybe
It's just
you-
hanging with the boys.
You get there and you find out that God's like they send way more. Like no girls go to hell, but like most guys go to hell. So it's very exclusive if you get into heaven as a dude, because now you have 3 chicks per guy.
Oh, and I guess you don't need genitalia.
no.
In heaven.
That would be heaven.
I would love.
Yeah, you
to
don't
have
wake up.
no
You don't wake up in the middle of the
genitalia.
night to pee.
Yeah, like there's no way you have genitalia when you're dead.
That's a good question.
If you did, what are you doing with
Well,
it?
what's
Are
the
you having sex?
That would be the ultimate. You go to get your 72 virgins. I mean,
Heaven makes no sense.
every
When you
joke-
drill down heaven, it makes no sense. Even the seeing relatives is like, how old are they? They're the age when you want them to be. What about their
But what about
opinion
babies that
about
died?
their?
Who's taking care of the babies that have died?
You should be
should go to
saying
hell.
these things with the Bill Maher voice, by the way.
Oh, great. There's a fetus in heaven. I can't wait to hang out with a fetus. We'll be right back with Tiffany Haddish.
yeah. Okay, here's one more sketch.
Yeah.
We're segueing through sketches.
Okay.
Do you know how girls are like
Am I getting paid for this? These sketch ideas? This
there are
should get.
no, there are sketch
Oh, there
ideas.
are ideas now. Okay, cool.
Yeah, there are sketch ideas.
Yeah.
But
You can't go do it without me.
Well, I'd have to have your permission.
You have to permission or payment
I have to-
of some kind.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
We'll talk.
These guys are old school.
We'll talk to you later.
They don't know about the internet where everything.
The jizz condom thing isn't like yours from the
Danny,
other.
you-
It's kind of
thing.
just everyone.
He was.
No?
I saw him write it down on his thing.
I actually had it written down, timestamp before we got in here. It's just a coincidence.
That would be so funny if I just fucking did
So-
the condom thing yesterday, like word.
I know,
We're known
but it
for
became
it.
like the biggest. It becomes like the biggest sketch in the world. Like in Korea,
Love
it's like
that.
on the
People,
news.
yeah.
It's written. I'm Johnny Fame in this.
Ryan's getting interviewed by like Korean Johnny
Yeah.
Fame. How do you come up with this? He goes, I don't know. I just came up with it all by my
It's
own.
just
Just all your
amazing.
ideas. I'm doing
Yeah.
streeters. I'm like eating people's food. I'm like, that's crazy. I'm like, but in my mind, I'm like, pretty sick
Yeah.
bit.
You hate yourself when you go to bed at night, but you're just on a bed of $100 bills.
I'm on a rocket ship. Is what I'm
Yeah.
on. Okay, so you know how people are like a lot of times girls like they have like very like empowering masturbation videos. Like, do you know, like
they
girls
do?
there'll be a lot
Are
of
you
like
talking about pornography?
No, it'll be podcasts about. There's like a lot of like podcasts about like how like you know you should be using vibrators and like you need to get
Okay,
in touch
yeah.
with yourself. But like I feel like that's so like prevalent in like female communities.
Yeah.
But like I love the dude version of like how like if dudes talked about like masturbation like the way the girls
Oh
did.
yeah.
Yeah, like
You gotta stroke it yourself and make yourself feel good, man.
you got, you know, this is up to you. You need to grab that fucking
Yeah.
thing, start whacking it. Like no one.
Yeah, talk about like kind of hard to come. Just like get like light a candle,
Yeah.
sit back, light a bath, just like touch yourself, make it
Get it
feel
in there.
nice. Don't force it. Like it'll happen.
yeah. You're a little drunk.
Yeah.
That's not a problem.
Right.
Just unzip that thing, get it out. It's
Yeah,
just the
yeah.
boys here.
We can all
Lube
just-
sponsors.
Oh yeah, I have a sponsor who. Hey, I'm happy to promote my sponsor because, but
I didn't even know you were in the program.
We don't get sponsors for. We don't get sponsors much on our channel. I don't know if you know this.
I've heard you talk about it. I don't know why.
I don't either. We're actually really good with the sponsors we have, like are happy, but it's Auto Blow AI.
Yeah,
So
we did
our
Auto Blow
You
there.
did, yeah. I just
Take
feel like
one of
that
those
could
for a
fit into the
spin?
sketch. It would be a seamless.
That would be a perfect
promotion
one for Auto
into
Blow.
that
Yeah,
sketch.
yeah.
Yes.
Am I the only person at this table who hasn't used an auto blow?
I never used it.
Oh my God! You've
Actually, I mean,
really
I
gotta
used it.
Try it. You know, he sent like Joe Rogan a crate full of auto blows. Like I
Really?
mentioned on the Joe Rogan.
Well, he used to be the
show.
Fleshlight guy. Yeah.
Oh, was it?
Well, Joe
I-
Rogan was the original like doing Fleshlight.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Fleshlight was big into comedy back in the day. Auto Blow's the new thing though, man. We
Yeah.
don't mess with fleshlights.
No.
We're company men.
Yeah. You're Box Water, man. You guys sponsored by Box Water?
They are.
There.
Box Water
We just
is
steal
better.
their water.
Do you think
Oh,
that?
good.
So one of the things we were talking about is like and everyone says this, but you feel like it kind of confirmed it, but that like the Los Angeles girls are just like insane to date.
I mean, I told
Where-
you at lunch.
Yeah,
I'll
that's what
tell
we're talking
you.
about, yeah.
Just
Yeah.
like this sounds like another Johnny Fame lie, but this happened. It was like 2 or 3 dates in a row where a girl didn't ask me one question the whole time. Not exaggerating. Not one question. So I'm at this, and I go, oh yeah. What do you want? Italian? Yeah, you pick a restaurant. So they pick like the most expensive restaurant. There's no concern about you. Maybe you don't want to pay for the most expensive. First date, don't pick the most.
Yeah.
So this was like, oh, some gnocchi's $80 a plate or whatever.
That's crazy.
So I'm like, oh, you picked a really good place. So we're, I think there about 2 hours, and after like an hour, I was like, she doesn't ask me one question. She doesn't know what I do. She doesn't know.
This is just all online
like-
dating?
It was from an app,
Yeah.
an online app. And then I was just telling Ryan, there was moments where it was awkward not to ask me a question. You know?
Like, were you like kind of tapping your fingers, being like,
Yeah. It was like she goes, I love Portland. Portland's my favorite city. And I go, I was just in Portland last week. Dead silent like that.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like,
nothing. She just goes nothing.
why were you in Portland?
Yeah,
That was a great
yeah.
question there.
Dude, I feel like that game over there.
And so
is
what is she?
just,
And
like-
she just goes on to a new place she likes.
Yeah, she's like, and also because their pizza's good or whatever she was saying.
I know so many girls like that from like the Toronto kind of scenes that I roll around in. But yeah, they're just like, they're professional. Like, if they're hot enough, it's like, okay, this girl's cool to kind of just like have as an accessory, sort of. But they don't care about you. And it's sort of like, that's the only way this relationship makes sense in any way.
Sounds
it's
nice.
like, they never had to pretend they gave a shit. They got away,
They're
the
so
whole
over
way.
that, yeah.
And also, I understand. Like, I don't give a shit how many siblings you have. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I'm
Yeah.
with her. Like, I don't give a. I'm sure it's not interesting.
Is she just there for as her thing, just to feed herself?
I think
She's just getting free meals and-
I can
Well,
get,
that's
like,
if they
free-
get
nice-
you. If like ideally, if they're hot enough, then you need to find a way to get your benefits. Like, for example, if the girl's really hot and this is a scam, you're like, hey, but I'm bringing you somewhere where everyone's going to see this at least.
Yeah. Yeah, right. I went out with her a couple more times, so which is on me. But
really?
The second one, I was like curious. I was like, because she kind of came back at me. I was like, all right, let me see. And then she would like kind of was interested after like a few dates. She started to. I think we maybe the fourth time she was showing like real. She suddenly realized she didn't know me at all.
She switched into
suddenly,
it.
Yeah.
So okay, maybe that was like you
on the fourth day is when she finally asked what you do.
She was like, "What's your name?"
Yeah, because no one.
I was like, "Yeah, it's a weird thing out there."
There is like sort of a liberation a little bit when you're dating a girl that like really doesn't care. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean? Because if you're like, they don't care, you can sort of not care about them, and also they're not going to notice anything you're doing.
No, right? No, yeah. There's liberation in that.
Yeah, like even just like, even especially with like career stuff and all this shit, like I actually don't like when someone is like, hey, are you okay? Like, you seem like, I actually probably a lot of times like people just kind of like ignore me. Like,
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I agree. Like I need downtime with myself, and I don't want to insult somebody, and you don't feel like you can hurt them as much as someone who's really attentive. Because I did go through.
That's a huge part. So
Yeah.
it's less responsibility on you.
Yeah.
Because you're like, I'm not. Because I think it can be some sort of a grinding to always kind of like be responsible for someone's emotions that's really invested in you.
Yeah.
If they're like uninvested, you're like, oh, I can, like, whatever I do is not affecting them. I mean, I guess it's straight up at the end of the day, you're like, yeah, it's no responsibility.
It is though. Like when you're writing too. Like when I'm writing or working on something, I fog out pretty hard, and I bet I'm a pretty bad boyfriend. And then if like I've dated women that have been more sensitive and attentive, and then I have to like kind of explain why like I seemed real fogged out that day when we were at the beach or something, and it's not you. I was just thinking about something.
Been there.
You know that one.
Yeah, but it always, like, there is a point where it just like you just feel like you're always explaining yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I like let them, and I feel bad. Like I generally feel bad, and I'm like, I had a great time at the
always
beach.
just feel bad
I didn't
mostly.
even realize. Yeah.
Well, they're just their antennas up, or just they're all the time, for that kind of stuff. They're always looking for like, oh, what's the problem here? And you're just like, just leave me alone.
I fog out those so
Why can't I just be
hard
left alone?
sometimes. I really try not to, but I fog. You fog out?
Oh, is it because you're thinking of other things?
Especially editing, you're constantly, it's like the opposite of meditating. You're constantly throwing your imagination to like the future and like a scene that's not happening right now. So after hours and hours, it's hard to like turn that off. I think meditation, I don't do it, but when I do it, it really helps bring me back.
I keep thinking that I should try, and I don't. I've done it a few times. I've never really had it matter.
Hard.
Yeah.
I feel like the working out or running is the only thing that like I feel like can
That is
reset it.
kind
a
of
bit.
meditation,
It is
yeah.
a little bit, but no, I do feel like that's why it's like I feel like sometimes doing like internet stuff or whatever is better in some sense, because like when you're doing like a TV show, it's like now I'm just like this for 4 months, whereas at least I feel like the most time that I'm content or like available is when I'm just wrapped it. And the least time is when I'm almost wrapped. Like if something's like close to done, it's like I can't hear that your family died. Like I'm just
They
all died?
Yeah, it's
save
like,
it for next
I
week. Okay?
promise you
No,
tomorrow
I
I will
know.
hear about this whole car crash situation. Was it a car crash? I don't know.
Yeah. I had a girl who was, we were talking, she was from overseas, and she was coming to like visit. And I was like, I had like a deadline that, that week. And I was like, I want you to come, but I have to work, and I don't want you to feel ignored. I just want you to know that. She's like, oh, I'm coming to see friends too. It's not just coming to see you.
Yeah.
They're getting insulted. But I was like, I just want you to know, because that's what's happening. So anyway, I took off like a lot of time for her, like 2 days.
I think I remember this.
I tell you a story?
No, I think I remember when this happened. Like I didn't know the
really?
story,
Okay.
but I think I remember like we were talking about doing something. You had when you had this. Was this like 2 months ago ish? 3 months ago?
No, but this does happen a lot. The one I'm thinking about.
This is a recurring theme.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
But then once I started working, it flipped her out so bad. Like she couldn't take like an hour of me working.
He was like, "What? Am I just gonna be here for 7 days?" Like,
It's only there 4 days, and she had 2 more days to go. But she started pretending she was like writing a script, and I would take breaks, like every 20 minutes. And I'd be like, "What are you doing? I'm writing a script." I'm like, "What's it about?" And the whole thing just devolved. There was like no plot. Probably shouldn't talk out of school here. This doesn't go out on the internet, does it?
It just goes on Rumble.
It just goes on Rumble. By the way, not doing well on Rumble at all.
No, you got on?
Is there a trick to that? You have 26
I think the
views
trick
on
is that they put you on the homepage.
Yeah. Our friend puts us on the homepage.
Our trick is our buddy puts us on the homepage.
Can I give you money to have your buddy put one of my videos on the homepage?
I can introduce
We
you
just
to him.
ask
I'm
him.
sure he likes you.
Yeah, I'm sure he knows who you are.
Because I'm dying on Rumble.
Yeah, but I think that there's not so much of an algorithm there. I always say with every app, because people are always saying, oh, use this one. It's like everyone will use every one once they hear one person that popped off on there. If you hear one person that's my friend's selling tickets from
Yeah. Also, the comments.
RedTube.
The comments on there are like, you could post the most, but because you'll have a thing like Joe Biden, right?
Yeah.
Post one of those videos, and it'll just devolve into like all this vaccine. Like the comments are mental.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's great,
like
but it's
that.
just like it'll be unrelated to anything you posted.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
I like a good comment section.
Yeah. Oh, me too.
Me and Ian were talking recently because we did a video about weed and alcohol, and there was like so many people that smoke weed being like, I actually smoke every day, and if anything, I'm like, but they're like just saying the things from the video, like, but for real.
I just thought of something. I bet someone's already thought of this. I'll tell you guys after the show.
Nice.
No, I'll tell you now.
Yeah. Woo, 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 woo.
I think I want to hire like 3 people. Okay, just an idea.
Okay.
Might not happen. To just go on my videos and just write insane things that will just spark controversy and arguments. 'Cause that's how the algorithm of YouTube works. Like people commenting and stuff.
You could just have
It's like
3
there
fake
is
accounts.
no COVID. It's this and whatever. You post a video.
Just get people fighting. Yeah.
I maybe get 100 people to do that.
Yeah, why not?
And just a crazy comment section, push the video.
I mean, the easier thing is just make a video that
funny?
gets people. Gets people to do
good
that.
video?
Just sprinkle in little conspiracies. You just got to get the conspiracy-minded people.
Put this under, have a couple comments, 6 million question marks.
Yeah.
Just like, get people
Yeah.
talking.
Where's Fauci?
I don't.
Where's
the,
Fauci?
the thumbnail thing is eluding me. I'm not good at writing a thumbnail people want to click. I try, but I find it's not a talent of mine to.
No, I've had a
come up
lot
with
of
something.
thoughts about that too.
It's a skill in its own right.
I look at all those like how to get your video seen more, and in all of them they mention the thumbnail.
Every
How
single
important
one.
it is.
Yeah,
You
but
gotta
I
get
think
people.
I don't know. Like, I've tried to do a few thumbnails here and there where you do the like all this stuff, and I don't know. People don't click on it as much, so I don't know. I think the truth is like you're doing stuff that's like kind of hip, like for lack of a better word. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of cool. So it's like the people that are gonna like your stuff are not the same people that are going to be necessarily attracted to like a corny
Yeah, they're not
thumbnail
like
that's,
watching like a Minecraft video.
So I don't know. There's a part of it's that too. You know what I mean?
Do you guys should have like real Biden picture on the thumbnail or like my cartoon Biden? on
Cartoon
the thumbnail?
Biden.
The cartoon,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't have the perfect answer to that. But.
Well, get it. Think about it.
Well, the one sketch that I thought we were gonna do, like, we were maybe talking about that Kurt actually had the funniest idea for, but I like a modeling agency that's like age positive, so it's like they only represent 9-year-olds, but it's clearly like creepy guys. But then so it's like almost dust agency. It's like just because you're on the brink of death doesn't mean that you shouldn't have
Oh,
a
I never
contract.
heard
You
that
should be a
idea.
supermodel sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
But I said Kurt had the funniest thing. He was like, "Yeah, but it's like you represent girls 30 to 40." I think we were talking about when we were doing the Zoom, but like you have like a modeling agency for old women.
Yeah.
But they're like
30.
like an elderly modeling agency.
You could set that up as like a prank and just have models come in. Like,
Yeah, maybe that's
little
like a
third girls,
street
this is,
thing.
and you just keep saying like,
Yeah,
the
do
fact
that
that you're
as-
old doesn't mean you can't be beautiful.
Well, you know-
and she's 29.
Remember, I don't know if it's so much now, but remember, like, that used to be the whole thing with creepy dudes where they just go walk around the mall and be like, you should be a model, I'm a photographer.
Yeah.
Just to meet women. But then
Scouted them.
But then that's the thing, you find girls who are like in their 30s and you go like, and
you
then
just-
you used to be like, it's called Almost Dust. And you're like,
Yeah.
what?
Oh yeah, no, they have them come in and there's a secretary and an almost dust thing and
like
be
a proper
and then
prank.
have a seat and they like kind of help you down.
Just just have a
That's
sign.
going to help them sit.
Yeah, like the bars, like
Yeah.
like the safety
Yeah, the bars in the
everywhere. When they're like healthy
Yeah.
30-year-olds.
Oh my god, that's such a funny prank. Yeah, and then everything is like, just they start to
And
see
you're
the
like,
small
yeah.
things here and there, almost does.
Society. Oh, you're an old bag.
No, no.
You're
It's all
disgusting
it's all
now.
Depends ads.
Yeah.
But they have like a they have the like ads of Depends and stuff, but also you have like two other models that are
Yeah.
like actors, and they have someone come out with the tray to give
Yeah.
them their pills,
Yeah.
like shit like
Yeah.
that.
Do you want to try on the bikini now? The bikini, put that on. Okay. And they'd be like, "This is offensive," or whatever.
Yeah, it almost does.
I do always wonder
It
actually, what's
does.
the audition process if you're like a underwear like a Depends model?
I mean, you got
Like,
it.
do they bring you in and you go slide those on?
That is a good question.
You got it.
Because I always look at them like when I'm at the grocery store and I go like, I could do that. I could be a Depends underwear model, like for the middle-aged guys. But do they bring you in? They get, like there's 20 guys just wearing.
I would
adult
love if
diapers?
you booked that.
I would love if I booked that too. That'd be hilarious.
Dreams could come true. I think they got to see the guy with his shirt off, and at least
No, they always have a wife.
legs.
They always have a wife beater.
Oh,
on the
okay.
guy.
Is
that what they always
They're not
do?
shirt off on the. Yeah, not on Depends.
Oh, I did an
Shirt off stuff.
Shirt off on a male. You look like a baby at that point. You look like an adult baby. They're trying to distance the baby thing. They want to make
Right.
you look like
Yeah.
a dude just in a diaper.
Yeah.
That kind of looks like underwear.
I feel like wearing diapers sometimes. You know what I mean?
Just fucking when you're
Just
done
like when
editing.
you're busy.
You're
I don't
like if
get
you have
up.
the girl in the other room and the bathroom is over by that room.
Oh my god, she packed up like 4 times. There's so much drama. It
Really?
was kind of fun. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, I
Drama.
guess.
Drama's fun.
Oh yeah, you're coming off a recent breakup.
No,
No,
this
it wasn't
is
a
just like,
breakup. It
girl.
was like to see. We talked online or FaceTime and stuff, and talked, and then she came to visit, and that was the end.
Yeah. Have you ever had it? Because you've dated like some famous Hollywood people or whatever. Have you ever had like a big like drama one where it was like where you got
Yeah, Elliot Page. We really had it out. We used to
Hell
spar. You know what I mean? Well, anyway.
But she didn't want to
No,
say
I'm
a
just
trans
like
joke.
I probably shouldn't talk about transgender issues, but one thing I noticed is like with Elliot Page and also Chaz Bono is the pictures are like a guy that if a guy did that picture, you'd be like, what a douchebag guy this is.
Yeah.
Like, if I post a picture like showing my abs and looking tough, you'd be like, dude.
Especially if you're not like specifically big, you know what I mean?
yeah, if you're like 110 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you.
I like
That's a good point.
like
Chaz Bono's putting shirtless pics?
when he first came out, he was
Looks
kind of
like
like
Guy
being
Fieri.
like a tough. He's being a tough guy.
Yeah.
Like tough guys, I think we all agree. You know, when someone acts tough,
guys rule,
you're just
yeah.
like they rule.
They're nice to have around, you know.
I mean, we're not all like
Safe.
that. We're not all.
No, that is like a good point though, because I mean, there's sort of the same thing as when guys do drag or dress like girls. It's always like a like a super. Like the cliche version is what you go
Yeah,
for,
yeah.
right? Like you go for what would be like the stereotypes of like a girl, like the big
Yeah, yeah,
heels and like all
yeah.
that kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
like a
yeah.
lot of times, right? But I mean, in New York, sometimes it's like almost or nothing. It's like still got the beard and everything, so
Yeah.
not that. But
Maybe it's
the-
because it's feeling repressed for so long. You're going like the furthest.
you're gonna go. I'm gonna go the most of it. Yeah.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
This section we're called the canceling section of the
Yeah.
podcast. If you're born in like Africa or something like that, do you want to then you want to like have the bone in the nose, like the whatever the woman dress is? That's what you like. The
That's
neck,
long neck.
like
funny.
Stretch
I want to
neck.
wear the stretched neck because like this is me with the stretched neck. That wasn't
Yeah.
me. Is that what happens?
Yeah, you're right. Because the things are just cultural. So if you were, I'll tell you where you probably don't see that many trans people, like where they have to wear full burqa. Like you're probably.
Oh yeah, yeah. Wait, that'd be a good kind of numbers to get.
You can't. Like I can't imagine.
Yeah,
I think,
let me pull that up. Yeah, it's 0.
Yeah.
There's 0 in Saudi
I
Arabia.
think in some of those places where not where they were the full burqa, but I think a lot of times the gay people because they don't. It's like illegal to be gay or whatever. So it's like actually they let you be trans because they go, like here it's like trans is higher, whereas there like it was the opposite where it's like I want to have sex with men. They go yeah because you're a girl. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're like, I'm a guy who has sex with men. It's like, no, men don't have sex with men. You're a woman.
Uh-huh,
Kind of like a jail.
That was like
rules
that. That was
almost
like the
that, you know what I
ISIS
mean?
stuff, right? Where they go like, yeah, they were.
No, we're not having sex with men. That's a woman.
That's a woman. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's their
very
little loophole.
They're very progressive,
Very
right?
progressive.
My sister dressed me up as a woman much of my childhood. She wanted
Really?
a sister, and they're like, "You're having a brother," and she cried, and then she was like, "You're Kyleena." She just like dressed me up as a girl.
It's very brave of her.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
and
like-
makeup like a whore, like a whore. I was 5 years old. You're a slut. I got pictures of it.
Isn't that kind
I
of
have a
this?
picture on my phone.
How many stories is that of a serial killer? Where that's the origin story. You know
It's
what I
always
mean?
the sister's fault.
Yeah. How did that happen? You go. That's,
Is this your background?
Yeah.
You look at it every morning to remember that
Yeah,
no, you are
yeah,
Kyle.
baby. Oh my God, you guys
Yeah,
are like,
dirty
you guys
little
are like
Kyle.
really be disturbed.
That's crazy. You found it recently to show to people.
This is my childhood. There's my sister in that.
oh yeah.
You know,
She looked like she
wanted
was
a
having a good
sister.
time.
She loved having a baby sister. Then my mom would take me to tap and jazz. She also dressed my brother up too.
Do you think she ever sees you doing like the Caitlyn Jenner stuff and she's like, "That was me"? You know,
She's
what I mean?
proud of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there she is. We finally got her.
There's my little girl.
But I do love the idea of having the African guy switches and he gets the rings and the bone and the nose. I was supposed to be born like that.
But with the super long neck.
interesting.
Still the super
Yeah,
long neck
exactly.
because you probably can't go back from the long neck.
No, when they take the like a lot of those people when they take it off, like they die.
Oh really?
Like if you were
Yeah,
on a
'cause you
deserted
still, like-
island.
yeah, exactly.
You were born, let's say you were born transgender, you were in a male body, but you're like, this is wrong. Would you make like
A penis
a
out of
dress?
clay.
Would
I
you
feel
make-
like if
would you
there's
make
no
a
society, you
straw
wouldn't
dress?
care.
Yeah, maybe you wouldn't
If there's
care
no
if
society,
Right, that's
like you're just
interesting.
like, yeah, I don't. You probably wouldn't think about it.
like, would
ever.
you be...
Also, it's like if you were I bet you there's not I mean, if the idea of trans was like introduced in most societies like that, where you go, hey, the guys are going to go on the hike and then like, you know, try to kill all these animals and blah, blah, blah. And the girls are going to kind of chill here with the kids. Like there'd be probably 9 guys be like, crazy thing I just realized.
Yeah, it's like, you know what? I identify as more of a gatherer.
Yeah.
I'm more of a gatherer. I'd rather just pick up these berries.
Like, but that,
And go fight that woolly
I think in
mammoth.
most societies of the world, everyone's like, yeah, okay, buddy. Like if you were, they're like, hey, men are getting drafted to war, and be like, crazy thing that I just
Yeah,
figured out about myself.
So crazy that just happened.
Yeah,
I mean, that literally happened in Ukraine, didn't it? Where there's like a few of them, where because they wouldn't let men leave the country to fight, and then there was a bunch of guys who like.
And then
were
what
like-
happened with the trans people? What'd they do?
They were like, no. They go, this is a war. No.
Yeah.
They're like, we put up with this for, it was fine before, but
Yeah.
no, this is serious. No.
They don't have women fight over there?
No. I mean, they might have women who can, but it's mandatory for men.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. I'm so glad I missed a draft or anything.
Oh
You know what I
God, I feel like I would have dodged it, but
mean? Yeah, I would have.
I'd be
Definitely.
gone. I'd be doing what's the guy?
Bone spurs in the ankles?
No, what's the guy that shit his pants? Robert Durst or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he was like on the lam, so he wore a girl's wig, and he.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
yeah. I
Yeah.
feel like I would maybe go. That would be a good time to go trans if
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
army was looking for you.
Yeah.
He's not here.
I got a jury duty
How?
by like lying and being awful.
Would you?
Well, here's the thing.
I guess you. Yeah.
I just like I couldn't do jury duty. Do you know what I mean? Like they're
Dude,
from
you have
it's like
shit
a
to do,
murder.
too.
It's like a murder trial, and I'm like I can't be every month. So
Why do you think you couldn't do it?
it's just like it's gonna be at least a month. I'm gonna, you know what I
That's
mean?
a
That's
lot.
what
It's a
to
big
me. I'd be
commitment.
like, for what? I have a job. Like I can't take
Like,
a
I
month
just-
off for free, and they pay you like $1 a day.
Yeah,
probably.
no.
Well, it's your civic duty. It's what they
Yeah,
frame
and the guy was in a gang, and it was down to like me and like it was down to the wire. There's like 16 people left, and I'm like, Dunnigan, you got to get out of this. And the guy's standing right there, and he's in a gang, and he murders people. And I'm like, the judge talks to you. He's like, do you think you can be unbiased? I'm like, I can't be unbiased. I'm definitely biased.
You said that straight
Yeah.
up.
And he goes, why is that? And I was like, my brother's a cop, and he's like, well, that's okay. You still can't be. He kept drilling me down, you know. And he's like, that's fine though. You can still, you know. And I was like, no, because he chose to be in. I was shitting on this guy. He chose to be in a gang, which I think is a really bad choice. So he probably made other bad choices. And this guy's just like, if I could just murder one more guy, they let me off. I told this on Ari Shafir's podcast.
Did the other jurors kind of see that? And they're like,
yeah, this dick. they're also jealous that I was the first guy to just go all the way.
Well, that's like everybody always
I
says.
think he did it.
You just be like, I'm racist, and they go,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
that's not enough to get you off. That's pretty fucked up that everybody knows you're racist.
how would that be?
Yeah,
How funny would that be if like you didn't realize it was a televised trial and you went like it was like you're like, you know, obviously I can't because I think they're lesser beings. Blah, 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 this shit.
Anyway,
Have you read the bell curve? So, anyways, I don't know.
is that a camera?
Yeah, you're reading the bell curve.
This was earlier in the jury selection. There was probably about 40 of us left, and they were actually sitting in the jury box, and then we were like back in the seating, and they were going through each. You know, they started with this guy, and they ask you like random questions. I don't know if it's normal, but they asked like a dating question. Excuse me.
Sounds like a game show.
It was. They said,
Dating question.
who would you want to have dinner with, dead or alive? That's what they asked.
That's a bizarre
Excuse
question
me, I had
for jurors.
a BLT earlier. So the
You
first
go- you
person
go-
says Martin Luther King. Okay. Second person says Barack Obama, right? These are all white people, okay?
Okay.
Third person says, those two, like, legit. Third person says Oprah Winfrey. Now I go, oh, this is
There's a
getting
trend
good.
here.
There's white guilt, like, on just
Rob Dyrdek.
Dyrdek. So I'm like, ooh, this is good. You know, now they're locked in. Now that
Yeah.
like 3 people said black people, this fourth guy is under the gun.
Yeah.
You can't go white, you know? So who do you think he says?
Joe Rogan.
Jesus.
No, who do you think he says?
Jesus.
Fourth one was Magic Johnson. Out of all the people
He had to go
living
black
or
guy,
dead,
But you're in LA, right?
is in LA.
So it's LA.
Yeah.
At least a big LA guy, yeah.
Like Magic Johnson, he's not that funny. He's a good businessman. I guess he has some business
yeah,
questions.
yeah, great basketball player.
Well, one of.
No,
One-
Charles Barkley is the funnier of the two.
Yeah, you better have dinner with him. So that's the fourth one. Fifth guy. Now what does he do?
He's got to go black, right?
Yeah, but he's running out of black guys in his head.
He only
So he
knows
goes-
like 4.
so-
That's all of them.
Sean King.
Take a guess who he said.
But it's a black guy.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Kevin Hart. Will Smith.
Yep.
I guessed it?
Yep, Will Smith.
Come on, I guessed
Hey,
it?
that's right.
Yeah.
Can you believe having that come out of your mouth?
Dead or alive?
I don't. Einstein or just Will Smith.
You're like, those
It's like-
raps you did are so sick.
Because white guilt is real. They were also scared.
So it's all 5 people were white.
It's 5 or 6 black people in a row, all white people saying that. And I think the next,
Oh my
and then it was
God.
like a Hispanic woman was like David Duke or
That's how you get out of it, right?
yeah.
Dude, that's.
But they never got to me. Like they didn't keep that.
Did you
that
have one?
question they
Were
bailed
you like
on.
planning for when they got to you? What, like were you worried that someone was going to pick you?
Yeah, I was like, Will I am. I was like, I'll
Then
do
the
that
person right
one.
before you goes, Will I am?
Oh
Fuck!
shit. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, you want to almost pick someone that you throw them off because you're trying to get out of it, right? Mm-hmm. So yeah, you don't want to be like too on the nose. I think that everyone says I'll say something racist, but when you're actually
Yeah.
there, you would
No,
Like, you
it
just wanna be
felt
like, say Hitler,
I was
just-
so uncomfortable, like
Yeah.
looking at this guy who murdered people and being like, "You're a bad person."
You know,
It's like, right
that takes
there.
a lot of balls.
I was scared,
How many
but I
teardrop
more didn't want to do
tattoos?
jury duty, huh?
Did he have like a bunch of teardrop
Yeah,
tattoos on his
he
face
did
and
have
stuff?
teardrop
That's ballsy.
tattoo. Yeah, no, he was in jail already.
Derek Chauvin.
I mean, Robert Dyrdek actually would have been a nice transitional guy,
Like a funny thing, yeah.
just to sort of start
Yeah.
to.
Well, you just say something, but I'm sure most people would be like, who? Like
Dyrdek, yeah.
Some lawyers like, who?
Do you think? Are you happy to be kind of out of like to some degree, running making stuff on the internet and be out of like that's like, was that system wearing you down being in the like Hollywood, kind of mill for a while, or
I
did
feel
you
like
like
I was barely in it. I mean, there's new fears. Like I got banned from TikTok. Like I still have like fear.
Those are real
but it's
fears.
like,
I mean, because
yeah.
it's. I mean, it's just a constant battle of like, them. The idea that people that like you can do something wrong and they just make you disappear is very.
It's terrifying.
Yeah, it's very. it like just whether you want it to or not, it just gets in your like bones in your head.
Yeah, and just I just can't. When I look at what I do, I think it's so incredibly silly. The fact that it's I can't imagine who it's harming. I don't know. I see things that aren't
You're
banned.
permanently
and I
banned
go,
on TikTok?
I'm on. I got it.
You just got the like multiple like.
It was permanently
Factor.
banned. Then they reinstated it, but it's on this warning where you can't make any money off. So I can't make money off it. But
Yeah, I always think it's like, it's not nefarious where it's pointed at you. It's just like, obviously the kind of one way is like, hey, they just have a thing that they want everyone to think, and you know, you're just a casualty of that. They're not looking at you and thinking, oh, this one's harming or not harming. It's like they're not thinking of you at all. Like
No,
you're just,
yeah, no,
they're
it's-
just doing something, and you're a casualty of like decisions that you don't affect.
yeah, there's also like Instagram. Like if 10 people complain, it's just like shut down. There's something like
Yeah.
that. Where so if it's any topic.
No, Twitter is kind of. We were talking about this, and I was thinking about it after too. That like the people who do the fact checkers, like TikTok is very okay. There's a 12-year-old girl dancing almost nude. That's good.
Yeah,
12-year-old girl dancing almost nude. Like good to go on
Okay,
that.
push that one out.
Yeah. Push that one out. Good to go.
Yeah.
And then like a joke about sex. It's like get him out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah, YouTube's very like, hey, something you did in that hour we didn't like. You get
Yeah.
one guess.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
We'll give you one guess.
But what's really cool is people are like supporting people like us,
Yeah,
our
definitely.
people who would like our stuff support, and it's like a direct thing. You feel more responsibility. I don't know about you, but
You do,
I feel
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
but it's good.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you were saying before. You had nothing. None of your fate was in your hands, and now it's
Yeah.
completely is. It's better.
Yeah, way better.
And you kind of get to know who's watching it, so you kind of like actually hope they like it. You know what I mean? As opposed to
Yeah.
kind of putting a TV show out. There's no real place where you see the feedback. You hear from too many other people that don't actually matter. It's like it gets a little convoluted. What actually?
Yeah, I know.
So it gets closer to actual how comedy's supposed to be.
I get, I don't know you, but like, subscribers or whatever, like Patreon or on YouTube, I do that too. There's members on YouTube.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
And it's like other content I'll put out, like bonus stuff. And if I get like one thumbs down, that's the most painful. Like someone that paid money, like they were so supportive, and they open their credit card and
I
they fill the
know.
thing, they put their code in, and then you put something up, and they're like, nah.
I know.
That hurts the most.
Yeah, the paid.
The paid thumbs down. Woo! I want to just go to their house and apologize.
That's the equivalent
to
of like someone that's like you see them
really,
before
this
you're
is very
showing.
bad.
Yeah, they're like, I'm your biggest fan, dude.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Can't wait for the stand-up show. Then you see them after, they're like, okay.
Yeah.
No, this is even worse. They're like, "Hey, where's that guy?" And they go, "Oh, he left in the middle."
Yeah, you left
Yeah.
halfway through.
Yeah, I'm a
He said he had to
pleaser,
go.
and that's not good for stand-up to be. You got to fight that. I don't know if you're a pleaser. You a pleaser?
Yeah, but I think a lot about the fact that it's kind of like a mix of masculine and feminine, kind of like both at the same time, where it's like the people pleasing is like necessary to kind of be good at it, but the like being able to like not do that is necessary to like
Yeah, you
win
gotta
at
balance
it.
Yeah, you got to balance.
So like one of them is like how you can't be a people pleaser to win, but you need to be a people pleaser to be good at the thing, I think.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you're kind of always trying to like balance those
balance.
parts of yourself.
Something balance. I noticed this past tour, like what my fan base is, like
What
who
is
they
that?
are, and I was like, there's a lot of like single guys. Like it's mostly because people go to comedy shows with their girlfriends, something like that. A lot of times,
Yeah,
or their
yeah.
friends. It's like individual guys. And I'm like, why is it? And I was like, oh, that's me.
Oh,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? Like they're
But younger,
identifying
right?
with like
everyone's fans are them a little younger.
yeah. Some are a little younger, but some are my age and like probably like 30 to my age, whatever. But like it's funny. I was like, oh, they're identifying with me because that's what I'm like. or
Yeah.
whatever. Which is I like that. I have something that people are identifying with because I don't think I had that before. What are you finding your fan base is?
Yeah, it's like mostly males.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that
Hispanic males.
Yeah, mostly it's
Mostly
mostly
Hispanic.
Hispanic males, gang members, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But you're kind of like speaking for those people, and I think that that's a like especially where you're just kind of like in a lot of ways what the industry would see as like a normal white guy, and you go, yeah, well, there's a lot of normal white guys out there,
Yeah,
and it's
they're
like
very ignored.
Yeah,
Well,
they're being actively actively spurned by the whole industry
Or whatever, but
They,
there's
they
lots
turn
of-
on TV. There's nothing for me on TV anymore.
or there's types that aren't them. Like there's lots of different types, right? But there's lots of different types of people in the world, right?
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah.
you'll see a whole like subset of guys that guys that are big on the internet where it's like, kind of like we have a buddy who's like a video game black guy. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like that doesn't get a ton of play. Like I feel like if the industry was sort of making that guy, they would write like a video game white guy and then make him black. You know what I mean? Whereas like that is a type of guy that I know.
He just doesn't fit into a mold that they.
But it's
possess in
not
their
exactly
brains.
the same as like the video game white guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they drive differently.
Yes, they drive differently, but there is a whole section of now they have someone that's like for them. You know what I mean? Because like the market can and real people can do a better job of finding people for people. Than people in a room deciding who.
And there's
gets
tons
who.
of people. That's another thing. There's so many more people than you
Profound.
than you can fathom. There's so many people, and they're all on the internet, and they all like different shit. You need like the tiniest sliver, and that's a ton of people.
Yeah, you could find your group now and find something.
Yeah. So
Yeah, used to be just, I don't know,
Yeah.
4 channels.
okay,
You're on 4chan too, huh? Sick.
we're gonna wrap this up with one thing.
No, we're going deep. We're going another hour.
I'll tell you what you do is actually kind of interesting to me. If off topic is because I feel like when I've heard you talk about on things like obviously you do and I do too, like something kind of silly for like a living, but I feel like you also talk about being like a kid in childhood more than I feel like a lot of other people do.
Oh, that's interesting.
I don't know, for some reason I feel like that.
Yeah.
Do you think that like that one of the reasons you're good with this is you're like still tapped into like how you were when you were a kid? Like sometimes I feel like when I'm so like removed from it, like even when I think of like when I was in grade 2, I'm like, well, I don't like you.
Yeah.
I feel like you can tell stories about when you were like 11 and you kind of still remember that like mind space that you were in or something.
Yeah, I do remember.
I'm, like,
I don't have a
detached
very
from
good
it.
memory in general. Like my friends tell me stories that I just completely forgot. But I don't really being on podcasts, and I worry it's a little boring. Do you know what I mean? Like because I kind of try to craft something, and make it, and then I feel like people are like really good podcasters. So, but it's like part of like the world now that you kind of have to be like a podcaster.
You don't have to do anything.
You don't have to do anything. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I got a lot of
But it's
stuff
good to have
say.
stories for podcasts. So I try to remember like stories about my life.
Oh, okay.
Like might be that.
I mean, but also the stuff you do, because they say like the older you get, like a lot of people, they're like you lose your imagination. Like people just say that, and like the stuff you do is incredibly imaginative, right? So there's some sort of tie in there. I don't know. Like I feel like there's people say that you like you
Is
get
that true?
bogged down with all the shit of being an adult, and you see kids, they have these
Yeah.
wild imaginations, and it's like you don't see adults with that generally. You lose it.
Yeah, I really did avoid responsibility
Yeah.
for till now. I mean, I have very little.
Do you have it now?
responsibility. No, I have a dog, and that's really it. I mean, I don't know how it happened, but that's what happened.
That's how it shook down.
Yeah, but it's probably why you're able to do stuff like this. Stuff.
Yeah, I definitely. If
Hollywood.
I had a wife, she would not put up with.
How
my
many guys
schedule.
do you know who probably were doing comedy with 20 years ago who are just like realtors now who do nothing and they just or whatever, they work some job and they probably could not even do anything anymore. Like,
Yeah, that's what I
lack
was
the
telling you
capacity
before.
for it.
People my age are like gone. Like they're very.
But if
they're-
you
they're-
said like, "Hey, I got a gig. We're bringing the team back," like they'd be like, "I can't anymore.
yeah,
I physically don't have the capacity to just like make my brain do that."
yeah.
Well, there is something about, because the highs and lows of it, I feel like as you get older too, you become less willing to and able to deal with like extreme highs and lows. Like I feel like when you're a kid, like, or even when you're a teenager, like it can be everything's the best and everything's the worst. Whereas like I
Yeah.
feel like that's exhausting for like adults. So I think that it's necessary. The same way it's like like for probably like entrepreneurs and stuff like that, you like have to retain your sort of like youthfulness in order to be able to like cope with it.
Yeah.
There's also, you as you get older, you have perspective on all the times you got really excited and really upset that none of that mattered.
Right.
And so when the same similar situation comes out, you realize like, oh, I could get really freaked out or really excited, but this is all going to kind of shake out and not be, in a few years, going to be.
I always feel like people, when you say that you're like, don't get excited, like our female friends will always like try. Well, last night they're trying to like trash me, being like I'm not like emotional or whatever. But it's like that's a choice to some degree.
Yeah.
Like it's a choice to not get excited, but you also know that by not getting excited, you're going to be also less upset.
I think I do that a lot. Yeah.
Like you are sort of. You can't decide where you go. I'm gonna be in like happy when good things happen, but I'm not gonna care when bad things happen. Like
you create the high, you've created the low. Once you go like that happy, you will at one point be that much upset.
Yeah.
Like you create whatever high you create. Like the low is just waiting for you because everything's temporary. Everything's temporary.
Like, are you ever gonna?
Dark. You're right.
The low is just waiting around the corner.
But
it is though.
It's kind of fun to have a life where it's like kind of dramatic. It's kind of fun in a way.
Yeah,
you know, where you have
it's exciting.
Well, that's why that
balance.
Not
that's
everybody's
built in.
not everybody's built for it.
But that the like if you have, because if everyone needs a little bit of that. So it's like you need to find it somewhere. But if you're already what you're doing for a career, the highs and lows, even look if someone that's in like aggressive sales, like highs and lows are like built into your life, then you definitely don't need them from your fucking chick, or you don't need like. That's why I feel like sometimes when people are, we always kind of have this conversation on another thing, but about like people that always want to like travel and do all this stuff. I feel like if I had a life that was more stable, I would want more highs and lows on my, but it's like the opposite.
Yes.
Because your life's so all over the place. The last thing I want is, well, let's do like a bunch of that shit.
Yeah, I totally
Or like
agree
a
with
girl
that.
that's like you're fighting nonstop or whatever.
Yeah. That was like a 20s thing.
That's a 20s thing for
The
everyone.
drama,
I think. A lot of people.
drama relationships were so funny.
They suck.
Drama relationships.
Yeah.
This was such a waste of energy. I just remember like getting in fights or whatever.
Yeah, dude, it's like, I
stupid.
banged a couple of your friends. Like, take it easy.
whoa. I wasn't saying that.
Take it easy. So we talk about these Reddit threads, right?
Oh, yeah.
And like, so there's all these ones like ice chewers and all these crazy ones, but
Okay.
Tony found like the best one. There's this one. So, because you know how we were talking about the Elliot Page thing where it's like, it kind of is, you become this like, it's almost the, what would be like a douchebag a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's kind of the same thing as this, where a lot of these Reddit threads, you pick like the douchiest thing and you were like proud of it, like as your identity. But this one's so funny. There's a whole Reddit thread of people that eat hot wings, and that's their whole identity, right?
Okay.
And it's called Reddit Spicy Blazing Challenge. So it's my favorite thing. So I'll read one of them.
Wait. Okay. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
what?
No. Go ahead.
There's a couple of them. A lot of the things are, people talking about, for example, what medications they could take to make sure they eat hot stuff, and it's essentially
They're really into it.
It just makes me laugh so much being like a grown man, and you're just in this Reddit thread with a bunch of strangers being like, had a ghost pepper yesterday, like pretty sick, dude. First time, and then another person being like, yo, you ever had the spicy wings at this place? Your like wife coming down and being like, what are you doing?
There should be a pepper like you no one's eaten yet. This would get me a little interested. There's like a pepper no one has been able to eat
without
or
the
a couple of them. Yeah, like they died. They ate it and they died of hot mouth or whatever.
They have but it's a whole community. Like Brooklyn, they do a hot pepper festival.
Yeah, people love spicy food. People love spicy food, and they love it's a
But the idea of this, like
competition.
people being like, I did this. It's like we've already seen people eat a ghost pepper. It's over.
Yeah.
Like you climbed the mountain and then.
Well, they've been trying to breed them. They've been trying to breed the peppers.
Now I'm more interested. Okay.
Yeah, so they try to breed the peppers with other peppers.
To make them more
make
spicy.
it even hotter pepper.
There's this one kid on TikTok who I see who I guess he can't feel anything spice-wise, So he's just trying to feel anything, and he combines every insane pepper. Like he'll open up a huge pepper, pour a bunch of like hot sauce inside the pepper, and then like this like pepper flakes and everything, and then put like another pepper inside of it, and he just eats the whole thing, and he's just like nothing.
Wow.
Where like it would cripple me if I had even one of those things.
Yeah. That guy shouldn't be allowed in a pepper eating contest. Right?
Oh, he's a ringer for
He's
sure.
a ringer.
He's a ringer.
Well, this guy's a hipster, and he goes, I finally got my hands on a ghost pepper powder and the California Reaper Flakes. I'm underwhelmed by how perfectly manageable they are.
Yeah, see. It's probably this guy.
that
He's
guy's
probably
cool.
the guy.
He doesn't know yet, but he can.
Yeah, but I just love, like, fucking the idea of you, like, going back to your group and be like, yeah, I wasn't that hot.
Yeah.
I'm used to using habanero on everything, so I expected these to be insane, but they are not. Has anyone else had this experience? Is there something wrong with me? So it's sort of a humble brag.
Yeah, that guy's cool.
But they're all this guy, right? Like, they're all too cool.
I would
for
say
school.
dry. If he's doing the dry powder, that probably did take some of it out of there. So the juice
Possibly.
is what sticks to you.
Yeah.
The oils or whatever.
Yeah, right.
I mean, these guys are just pepper spraying themselves.
Well,
They don't like puff powder at you in the like cops when they want to stop you.
No.
It's the liquid.
Just the oils.
So that's potentially this guy's problem.
Is that what someone said? Maybe.
No, I didn't look at the
We had
comments.
No one commented.
this guy we know.
The
in Toronto-
comments all probably are like, yeah, I also wasn't hot.
Yeah, there was like a
Agreed.
wing. There was like a wing place in Toronto, and they did the whole thing where if you you got to sign the waiver, and then they put if you eat these wings, they put you up on the wall or whatever. And a friend of ours, Ian, did it, and he ate like 44 of the wings, and he's just like, yeah, it was not normal for a week or something.
Pavone did the hot ones, and he came to the
that
comedy
was
club, and he was like
crazy.
crying, basically.
Yeah, the hot ones, the show, like the YouTube
Yeah,
show.
yeah.
And then they were trying to make a game show, and then they hired a bunch of comics as just for the demo of the game show. So it was never going to air, just the demo. And then they made them just do shots of like hot sauce and stuff. Like it was torture
Oh my god.
for like $150 or
Yeah.
something. Like it's insane.
This one, guys. Can you eat spicy food with mouse ulcers? I've developed all these ulcers, but don't want to take a day off.
Day off.
Oh,
And is this a spice thing specifically, or they have to eat wings every day?
I don't think it's only wings. They just like spicy
just wings
stuff
are
in
just the
general.
best conduit for
it
spice.
is. Wings are the best.
And they have all these things at Buffalo Wild Wings. They have this thing called the Blazin' Challenge, where if you eat 10 blazing hot wings in 5 minutes, you get 100 blazing points. But they're super easy to eat. So I go every week and get my blazing.
I mean, the idea of sitting
Jokes
on
on
your
them.
computer and taking the time to type what you just said. What is that person's life?
I know.
I'm gonna put this online.
Well, he's helping the community. This is the weird thing about the internet now. It's like all these people are finding these insane, specific
Yeah.
communities where they're like, there's thousands of us.
God, man, what's my community?
You could, I guess you could be in like an editor group or something.
Yeah,
like that.
or just totally
green
stressed out
screen
people.
green screen addicts.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Guys, I got a brand new light.
Or
set up.
maybe like a group, that'd be the funny, like a meetup of guys that do impressions. And you're just, everyone's doing impressions of, actually, I wasn't Carl, that was me now.
I didn't do impressions forever. Like I just started
What?
2 years ago.
I thought that would be like a thing
No,
that you
no.
were always good at.
But you knew you could do them.
I did them as a kid for like
The hell?
classmates or whatever, and then I started doing stand up, and no one did impressions. It was kind of like no one was doing it.
On
I was,
stage, I get that.
Yeah, and then that was it, and I just would do them for auditions for sketch shows, but I never would.
It's the most thing that I'm jealous of.
impressions.
Yeah. Drives me nuts that I can't do it.
I like doing impressions.
It's just like I don't get why I can't, and I've spent like lots of times. There was like
You have a very specific voice too, which it might be hard for you to manipulate. Like I have a very long neck, and I went to a doctor and I hurt my neck, and they took an X-ray of my neck, and the guy was looking at it, rubbing his chin, which is a very you don't want to see your doctor look at your bones and go, huh? You know this
What's
thing.
that?
So he calls in another doctor, and I was like, I'm dying. I was preparing myself for like a death conversation, and I was like, what is it? And he said,
Can you do Ben Shapiro?
Because I think this guy might be able to do Ben Shapiro.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Yeah, we're sorry.
Oh no, he said, you have the neck of a 7-foot man.
Right.
Stop.
Yeah.
He actually said that.
But I think part of it's good. I can pull my like.
Well, you do speak properly. Like you
uh,
kind of speak like this, where I speak from like the wrong part of my voice.
Yeah.
You're at the back.
Well, I
But
went.
that's you have a distinct voice, which is good for comedy. Like
Maybe.
when you hear you right away, you know. I don't have to see, you know. But with a lot of people, you don't.
Well, I went to a doctor because I had all these voice surgeries, right?
You did?
Yeah.
Oh well, that's probably restricting
Well, I couldn't
your.
do it before, but no, I've always wanted to be able to do, like, you know, accents and impressions, and I've spent like, you know, hours and hours trying to be able to do it, and I've never got anywhere with it. But when I got all the voice surgeries, one of the things that made me laugh with the doctor is he was kind of like, hey, so the way that you walk is like contributing to this, so it's like you need to walk way more upright.
Really?
And he's like, you talking too high, so he's like, he goes, like, naturally you should be sort of talking like this, right? And I go, yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna start walking and talking different. Like, I was like, I'm fucking doing comedy for a living, like I don't, like I can't, like.
How is it?
So
do
you
what
talk-
he wanted you to do.
Well, he
What was
basically,
it
like, you ever seen like a musical theater kind of person?
Yes.
Like, I feel like, you know, that's like how they all sort of, it's very projecting and you like very straight up.
Yes.
It's almost like you stand very straight up, but you don't look like you're naturally standing like that. So it's
You're like opening your diaphragm, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you basically like this, and as a doctor is like, he has got a voice
Yes.
like that, right? He's like, this is how you naturally like should be speaking, blah blah blah. And I was like, okay, well that's out of the question.
Sounds like
what
a-
are other
Yeah,
options?
Sounds like
yeah.
a radio
That's a
school.
hard
They
pass.
teach you. You go to
Yeah.
school to be on the radio.
I went to a speech therapist as I got something on my throat.
That's what I had. No,
And she had she told me to go around and go like you hum like in the front of your mouth. That's what you should, like, echo chamber, the echo. And what was the other thing? You go like,
I do that.
Yeah.
Well, I do it. But I always think, like, I used to, my body was always kills me on this because I used to do it, and then I would do it while I was running, and I lived in kind of like an area where there's like a lot of like homeless people and stuff like that, and he saw it once, and he was kind of like you just look like a crazy person. Like you're literally like running around the streets going.
yeah, no, I'm alone a lot and I forget. Like I'll be in my house for days and I'll go to the grocery store and just full on be like, should I get chunk light or solid white tuna? Just full on conversation.
Straight up to yourself.
I need to stop and look around. Yeah, but I don't know. What were we talking about? Reddit.
Yeah,
threads,
no, but
hot
that was
wings.
well. We're done with the one, and then one last one said, "Are my taste buds ruined because he can't taste them anymore?" Because
That's what happens. You get used to it.
he's in too deep in the game. But other than that, if you haven't checked out Kyle's YouTube channel, it's like one of the funniest
Hey,
things.
check
in the world.
out the YouTube channel.
That's just YouTube. That's Kyle Dunnigan, right?
Yeah, my Venmo's kind of.
Yeah, the Venmos. That's how you get. That's how you get demonetized.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what happened. Maybe you had your Venmo and your Instagram, and everyone thought they were dealing with an OnlyFans situation.
I gotta do an OnlyFans. That's the thing. Women go like, "Oh, we can't make as much money," but like men, we can't do an OnlyFans. That's not an option. I mean,
No, there's some guys.
Or
who
just
are-
dating a rich guy is usually an option too.
I mean, think if you had an option of like, everything fails, I could just take pictures of my feet. Like,
Worst
imagine,
case.
that's
You
a
know what
pretty
though?
good,
That was
situation.
true maybe a few years ago, but like there's no shortage of women with unsuccessful.
There's
OnlyFans
also
right now. It's
nothing.
sad.
There's also nothing.
there's-
better than-
there's
dude, your plan B failing. you go last choice.
Your tits fail. That's bad.
We were talking about that with a comedian sometimes, where they're like, we have 30-year-old friends. I can't remember who I was making we were making fun of this with, but like the idea of one of the comedians was like, you know, I think he was like probably in his 40s, and he was like, you know, I'm thinking it might not work, so I might just like, you know, I think this is the last kind of go situation. Like if not, I'm just probably gonna go like be a construction worker. And we were like, yeah, you can't do that either. Like,
Yeah, right.
like, no, you at 42, you can't just go be a construction worker. like that's also not an option. Like his like worst case scenario, like also isn't available to you.
that ship has also sailed.
Like, do you know anyone in construction? Like, he's like, no, I just kind of assumed I could do that. He's like, yeah, you probably can. You're like older now, and also like don't know the game. You don't know how to work tools. Like,
Yeah, you're a very bad old man.
yeah, you're just gonna show up and start trying to build
you
decks.
can just, like,
God,
carry
you
stuff.
plan.
I
you can
guess.
do that worse than you can do this.
Yeah.
Hell yeah! Instagram, YouTube, Kyle Dunnigan. One day we'll come up with
We're
one of
gonna
these
do
sketches.
something
Yeah, we might.
soon.
We
We're gonna
might
collab.
We might do the condom sketch.
Might do the condom sketch. We're looking for financiers.
Yeah, if anyone wants to fund the condom sketch,
Yeah.
we'll make that happen. Auto blow.
Oh boy, shout out.
Peace.
Thanks.
The boys,
It's the BOYSCAST.
the lads,
It's the BOYSCAST.
the dudes,
Prepare yourself for BOYSCAST.
the bros,